Hello and welcome once again. IPL season is here and we started our new show yesterday. हमने आपकी मुलाकात कराई थी हमारे दो इन हाउस एक्सपर्ट्स के साथ, राजश्री और साइरस आज मेरे साथ एक बार फिर से जुड़ गए, लेकिन आज छुट्टी है इसलिए ये लोग ऑफिस नहीं आना चाहते थे, इसलिए अपने घरों से हमारे साथ मैंने कहा ऑफिस आओ, डोंट लाई गाइस प्लीज, मैंने कहा ऑफिस आओ, थोड़ा काम करो। इन्होंने कहा नहीं, पॉपकॉर्न घर में तैयार है, टीवी पे देखना है मैच, एंड दे रिफ्यूज।
ये बन रहे ब्रंच के प्लान्स, टीवी पे मैच देखने के प्लान्स, इस बेचारे को जाना पड़ेगा भी ऑफिस है। मतलब सही है, आओ ऑफिस आओ, ऑल डन। अंजलि आपने बोल दिया, चलो अब चलते हैं, 4 बजे ऑफिस मिलते हैं।
नहीं, मेरी शिफ्ट खत्म होने का टाइम हो गया अब। चलिए, मुझे कल बताया गया कि आज का जो मैचेस हैं वो आज का दिन डबल हेडर है, 2 मैचेस हैं और दोनों मैचेस के लिए आप अपनी यू वुड बी थिंकिंग अबाउट योर ड्रीम टीम। आवर एक्सपर्ट्स हैव बीन सिटिंग ऑल थ्रू द नाइट रिसर्चिंग, रैकिंग देयर ब्रेन्स, दिमाग लगा के उन्होंने अपनी एक ड्रीम टीम भी बना दी है। तो आप लोग अपनी फैंटेसी की उड़ान को थोड़ा सा थाम सकते हैं क्योंकि हम आपकी मदद करने वाले हैं। लेकिन डिस्क्लेमर, जैसे कि मैं आपको पहले भी बता चुकी हूँ, वी आर नॉट एफिलिएटेड विद एनी फैंटेसी स्पोर्ट्स एप्लीकेशन एंड द टीम सिलेक्शंस प्रोवाइडेड बाय आवर एक्सपर्ट्स आर सोली बेस्ड ऑन देयर इंडिविजुअल ओपिनियंस एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द गेम। अगर आप कोई भी डिसीजन लेते हैं तो अपनी समझ के हिसाब से लीजिएगा, ये हमारी तरफ से आपको कोई सुझाव नहीं है, ये बस हम अपना एक्सपीरियंस आपके साथ शेयर कर रहे हैं। तो राजश्री, लेट्स बिगिन विद यू।
Look, पिछले last evening when I made my team, I had only 2 foreigners और बाकी जो 4 foreigners थे substitutes थे। हम थोड़े से दुविधा में थे। We wanted to see how it played out. So now we are a little clearer as to how the impact rule is working, and that's why you have what you can see on your screen. Gurbaz, for me, the KKR opener, probably opening today, that Afghanistan guy, and Jagdishan, he's had a terrific domestic season. उन्होंने विजय हजारे में रिकॉर्ड्स तोड़े हैं, बहुत अच्छे फॉर्म में। भानु का राजपक्सा, नितिश राणा जो कि केकेआर के नए कैप्टन हैं, ऑनरे रसल, सुनील नारायण, उनको किसी भी T20 टीम में आप रखना चाहेंगे फॉर श्योर। शार्दुल ठाकुर, अर्शदीप सिंह और राहुल चहर। तो यहाँ पे आपको मिश्रण मिलेगा फॉरेनर्स और इंडियन प्लेयर्स का। लेकिन हमने कल देखा था मोइन अली, राशिद खान, और अगर आपने मेरी टिप्पणी ली हो तो आपको काफी फायदा हुआ होगा। राशिद खान को मैन ऑफ द मैच और मोइन अली ने भी परफॉर्म किया, ठीक ठाक रन्स बनाए। लेकिन
I like how your tone changed उस टाइम पे, अगर आपने ली हो मेरी टिप्पणी, क्योंकि
मैंने कहा
वाइट हाउस में
देखिए, आपके पैसे आप लगा रहे हो, आप खेल रहे हो, आपकी किस्मत है, हम तो बस टिप्पणियां दे रहे हैं जैसे हम बार बार कह रहे हैं। लेकिन अगर आपने सुना तो शायद आपको फायदा मिला हो।
Okay, should I show the sub options also or you've already mentioned?
No, okay. we can go to the sub options. Shahrukh Khan, Harpreet Brar, Umesh Yadav, Varun Chakravarti and Venkatesh Iyer. Venkatesh Iyer again, solid side Mushtaq Ali tournament रहा है उनका। शाहरुख खान, we all know what he's capable of, domestic cricket में भी अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, पिछले साल भी उन्होंने अपने प्रॉमिस को दिखाया है। So I mean, I'm quite fond of these young up and coming India cricketers, and that is why I watched the IPL for 2 reasons: to see how these young domestic cricketers do and how the stars translate their form, or whether they can regain some sort of form in the Indian Premier League. So that's why today you see a very different perspective to my sub options, Anjali. No foreigners there, all Indians.
But I do have a new question, huh? What is your definition of young? Young क्या होता है भाई? युवा किसको आप मानते हैं? कौन सी कैटेगरी हो जाती है वो?
देखिए, जब मैं अपनी बात करनी हो तो मैं कहता हूँ कि young in the mind. But when I'm talking of players, I would rather say, players about to touch their 30 or thereabout. उस हद तक आप young मान सकते, because these guys are so fit. I mean, look at Virat Kohli. In his mid-40s, but that guy, boss, he's a rippler.
आप धोनी को देख लो, धोनी को देख लो, he's still playing. So I mean, age in sport is kind of regaining a new definition. जहाँ तक हम पहले देखते थे प्लेयर्स 30 पे रिटायरमेंट की सोचते थे, यहाँ पे 32 पे सूर्य कुमार यादव अगर डेब्यू कर रहे हैं अपने के फॉर्मेट में, तो आप एक अनुमान लगा सकते हैं कि किस तरह the sport is changing in itself. So I think that age is based upon, I don't think it's more about the performance on the field rather than the age factor that we can talk about. But I mean, football, चाहे क्रिकेट हो, चाहे कोई भी स्पोर्ट ले लो, आई थिंक जब तक एक प्लेयर परफॉर्म कर रहा है ऑन फील्ड, लोगों को फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. क्रिकेट में खासकर, I mean, if you're strong, if you're performing, might as well,
Not
play in the
just
league.
cricket, I think it's across every profession.
Yeah.
आपको देखिए, you
Yeah.
work out regularly, keep yourself fit, and see you keep performing, and that's why you're still there.
Exactly. I mean, it's just not about work. See, there's a certain level of fitness. आप जितने भी fit हो जाओ एक फॉर्मेट में, बट until unless आपके पास वो परफॉर्मेंस नहीं होगा, तो फिर लोग भी क्वेश्चन करेंगे, यार ये चलो ठीक है इतना लंबा खेल रहा है. देखिए वो रिटायरमेंट वाला पोस्ट ना फैन से आता है, आपके क्रिटिक्स से आता है कि यार ये बंदा परफॉर्म नहीं कर रहा है, इसकी एज हो चुकी है, तो एक मेंटल प्रेशर आपके ऊपर बनने लगता है ना, तो फिर बंदा भी सोचता है कि हाँ, आई शुड जस्ट स्टेप डाउन. बट इफ आई एम परफॉर्मिंग, even if I'm old, nobody can question me. And that way I can keep my place on the team, despite even if I have a big name or not. So वही वाली बात होती है. But coming back to my team as well, I mean, yeah, like I said, as opposed to what I've been doing earlier as well, मैं अपने strongest 11 को, despite the fact ये impact sub वाला जो rule है, मेरे सर में अभी भी इसको सोचते हुए सरदर्द होता है मुझे. So इसलिए मैंने अपने strongest players को on paper रख दिया. Sikandar Raza is really a wild card for me because I mean the ton of experience that he has playing T20 format, and the experience that he brings on the field is something that will definitely help. And points के मामले में तो I kind of want that player to be on the team purely based on the experience that he brings to the card. Nitish Rana is an inclusion that I had to keep because of the responsibilities that is going to be on him. In the absence of Shreyas Iyer, who's injured out, Nitish Rana takes captaincy, and मुझे I think एक ही बहुत important key player लगता है, क्योंकि KKR के उन्होंने पहले भी परफॉर्म किया है, वो अपनी टीम को जानते हैं, वो प्लेयर्स को जानते हैं. सो वो परफॉर्मेंस वाला जो प्रेशर है एडेड एक्स्ट्रा, उनके ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होगी. आई थिंक दैट इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू प्ले ऑन हिज माइंड कि या मैं आप टीम का कैप्टन हूँ, मुझे परफॉर्म करना जरूरी है. अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट बिट जो मुझे ऐड करना था, बॉलिंग लाइनअप में आई मीन सुनील नारायण और आंद्रे रसल को आप अपने टीम में रखें, तो आंद्रे रसल इज समवन दैट आई वुड प्रिफर्ड, but you never know because of the fact that मतलब परफॉर्मेंस की कभी डिप हो जाती है, कभी नहीं, बट वो एक ऐसे प्लेयर हैं जो कि आप टीम में हमेशा रखना चाहेंगे. यू लुक एट हिज बॉलिंग प्रोग्रेस, यू लुक एट हिज बैटिंग एज वेल. आई मीन बैटिंग, एक आदमी अगर आकर एक ओवर में गेम चेंज कर सकता है इस टीम में, तो वो है आंद्रे रसल. एंड सुनील नारायण ऑब्वियसली अ पिंच हिटर ऑन द फ्रंट. अब वो केकेआर उनको कैसे यूज करता है, दैट्स ऑब्वियसली अननोन, बट केकेआर की जो ओपनिंग पार्टनरशिप है हमेशा एक डामाडोल सिचुएशन रही है. यू नेवर नो हु केकेआर इज गोइंग टू ओपन विद. दैट्स बीन अ confusion ever. But looking at the team, Lockie Ferguson, again a pace attacker who's great at the death, and Varun Chakravarti also a spin option, who he's been very economical for KKR in the past as well. So maybe a strongest team मैंने आज पेपर पर रखी है, and I think all of these are potential performers that I would like to keep. In terms of sub options, Umesh, I mean bowling, वही like I said, ये impact sub वाला जो clause है मुझे कभी समझ में नहीं आया. So I kind of went very smartly with options जो कि changes में होंगे. For example, yesterday, look what happened. Ambati Rayudu for Chennai came, batted, went away, and then Deshpande comes in the second half. So these tactics, ये जो जिस तरह teams अपने subs को shuffle कर रही है, you cannot predict. I mean, कैसे predict करोगे? तो मैंने अपने safest option sub options में रखे David Wise for KKR. उमेश यादव a quick pace bowler, अगर कोलकाता को वो bowling attack उनकी batting में अगर वो अच्छा perform नहीं कर पाया, अगर bat पहले करते हैं, तो उमेश यादव can come in and play a similar role, try to stem the flow of runs. मनदीप सिंह again, अगर bowling बाद में आती है, batting पहले option है, he can help with the batting prowess. So I mean, I'm still confused, Rajshri. I don't know how you have clarity with this entire impacts of वाला thing. क्योंकि मुझे लग रहा है कम से कम 10-15 मैचेस जब तक आईपीएल के हो नहीं जाते, तब तक ये इम्पैक्ट वाला जो ये क्लॉज है, जो टीम्स बना रहे हैं ड्रीम 11 या किसी भी फैंटेसी ऐप में, उनके लिए बहुत ही अनश्योर वाला ये क्लॉज है. आई एम नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड एट लीस्ट.
Yeah, basically what's happening is, with the impact rule, first off, everybody was very confused about the number of slots you could open up, right? So a lot of people said it was 12 versus 12. A lot of people thought that you would have to nominate your impact player straight up after the toss. Some of us thought, like we did, we put out 4 options. So now it's clear that way that you have to put out 5 options. You nominate 5 players, और उनमें से आप एक impact player इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं. बट लुक, एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, आई लाइक व्हाट हार्दिक पांड्या सेड. उनसे पूछा गया एट द टॉस, व्हाट्स योर टीम लाइक, एंड ही सेड आई एम नॉट वेरी श्योर ऑफ द कॉम्बिनेशन. एंड impact player के बारे में पूछा गया, he said that's something that the coaching staff can take care of. And like we discussed, Ashish Nehra is a genius behind the scenes, so they will take care of those things. At the end of the day, what happens is you need to go out there and perform. And look at what Tushar Deshpande did, and look at what Sai Sudarshan did. Zyada runs nahi banaya, 22 I think, but anyway, that kind of helped Sunrisers. That kind of helped Gujarat Titans from that position. But Anjali, Cyrus, सबसे बड़ी जो बात जो होगी ना, ये हमें देखना है कि अगले 2 हफ्तों में कौन सी टीम सबसे ज्यादा यूज करती है, सबसे अच्छा यूज करती है. मुझे एक अंदर से फीलिंग आ रही है गुजरात टाइटंस विल बी वेरी वेरी स्मार्ट विद इट. चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स विल बी वेरी स्मार्ट बिकॉज धोनी जो जिस तरह से जितना शातिर उनका दिमाग है ना, वो उस तरह से वो गेम को सोचते रहते हैं. तीसरी चीज ये है कि हमें ये देखना है कि आप कंडीशन टू कंडीशन भी आपको ये परखना पड़ेगा. आप चिन्नास्वामी चले जाइए, वहां पे बॉलर्स ने हमेशा स्ट्रगल किया, हमेशा बॉलर्स ने स्ट्रगल किया. आरसीबी जिस कारण वो मतलब यू हैव टू बी डोमिनेंट एट होम, यू हैव टू विन एटलीस्ट 5 or 6 out of 7 मैचेस एट होम to make a realistic chance of finishing in the first 2, right? वहां पे they have struggled because they have always relied heavily on their batting, but they haven't been able to bolster that bowling lineup. Now, will they be able to take advantage of that? Will the toss be will it be little neutralized now because of the dew, because of this, because of that? So that is something that you'd be very, very keenly following up. Also, remember PBKS and KKR, the first 2 teams to play today, the first double header of the tournament this season, didn't do very well last time. तो उनके लिए भी ये बहुत जानना जरूरी है कि हम अपने बैलेंस को, बिकॉज अगर मैं पंजाब की 11 देखूं ना सीधा, शिखर धवन है, वन ऑफ द IPL legends. Strike rate should be important even for him because he's trying to make a comeback. I hope I am a big Dhawan fan, so I would like to see
fingers crossed
himself right at in a World Cup year. So how that translates, if you look at that lineup, Shikhar Dhawan, and then you have Shah Rukh Khan down the line, you have Bhanuka Rajapaksa, who I'm assuming will bat at number 3. You have Sikandar Raza in that lineup. बहुत अच्छा साल रहा है उनके लिए, T20 वर्ल्ड कप के क्वालिफायर्स में उन्होंने अच्छा खेला. सो ऑन पेपर तो ये सारे अच्छे लगते हैं, लेकिन ये बाहर जाके ट्रांसलेट कैसे होता है और इम्पैक्ट रूल इनको कैसे, हाउ दैट एक्ट्स एज अ कैटलिस्ट इज आल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
मुझे पता है क्या लग रहा है, ऐसा लग रहा है आप लोगों की बातों को सुन के कि यू मेंशन महेंद्र सिंह धोनी, दैट यू नो हाउ इंटेलिजेंट ही इज एंड हाउ क्लेवरली ही प्लान्स एवरीथिंग. सो यू हैव टू प्ले not just on the field, you have to play in your mind also. तो ये बात साफ है. और कुछ मुझे लग रहा है कि अगर आप अपनी ड्रीम टीम भी बना रहे हैं प्लेइंग 11 की, तो उसमें आपको एक कैप्टन की तरह और उसी तरह से सोच करके फिर ये प्लान करना पड़ा. एंड यू आर राइट, नाउ स्टेक्स हैव बीन रेज्ड, इट्स बिकम मोर डिफिकल्ट, सर्कमस्टेंसेस चेंज कर दिए गए हैं. लेकिन एज यूजुअल कल आप दोनों ने जो चॉइसेस दी थी मुझे ऑफ द विनर, bang on, of course. And of course you guys had a legitimate reason to choose them. और इस बार इस मैच के लिए अपने अपने फेवरेट्स बताएं, स्टार्टिंग विद यू राजेश.
देखिए, बिफोर आई गो इनटू दिस मैच ना, चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स के बारे में, अंजलि, जस्ट अलाउ मी अ मिनट ऑन दैट.
Yeah, please.
I saw that team yesterday, and even before the tournament started last year, I mentioned, I think in one of the podcasts or somewhere, that look, this Chennai team is looking very fragile. And even yesterday, they have invested too much in youth, and they have also banked too much on some of their senior players. एक time पे उनको Daddy's Army बुलाया जाता था. Now they've let go of some of these guys. There is no Dwayne Bravo, but Ambati Rayudu is still part of that lineup. And looking at Ambati Rayudu, how long are you going to invest in him? Obviously, जब ये mega auctions होते हैं, you look at it at a 3-year term. But then you also have players like Rajvardhan Hangarkekar. You're looking at Tushar Deshpande. Mukesh came out last year, injured this year. But look at Moeen Ali on the wrong side of 30, Ben Stokes on the wrong side of 30, MS Dhoni, again, he looks fit, his muscles dole shole bade bana ke aaye hain, lekin again, there's no debating his fitness, right? There is no debating.
I can see a slight, twitch happening in Cyrus's face. Mahindra Singh Dhoni के खिलाफ बोल दिया.
खिलाफ नहीं बोल रहा, बिल्कुल नहीं खिलाफ बोल रहा. To me, he's still one of India's greatest captain. Right?
Yeah.
But the fact is that there is too much pressure on him. अगर आप पे अंजलि, अगर आप पे मान लीजिए कि आप एक शो चला रही हैं, सिर्फ आपके पर्सनालिटी और आपके करिश्मा पे ही प्रेशर है, आप कितने साल चला पाओगे? 10, 15, 20 साल खींचना बहुत बड़ी बात है.
मैं तो 100 साल चला दूंगी.
आप चला देंगी, लेकिन that pressure will also start telling on you कि आखिरकार आगे पीछे के लोग क्या कर रहे हैं. And right now it seems like you're looking at CSK as a team where you're expecting miracles from the captain with a Midas touch. So I think they have missed some of those puzzles, or maybe it's still a jigsaw puzzle, an incomplete jigsaw puzzle that they're trying to fix with the help of some of these youngsters coming in. But if these youngsters are the roadmap for the future, तब ये थोड़ा सा आपको लंबा वेट करना पड़ेगा. ऋतुराज गायकवाड़ पे उन्होंने इन्वेस्ट किया, and I thought that is a brilliant move. Look at 2020 में उन्होंने सिर्फ 6 मैचेस खेले थे. 2021 में he won the orange cap. Last year एक ही अच्छी इनिंग्स थी और अभी अच्छी शुरुआत दी इन्होंने. So मुझे थोड़ा सा लग रहा है डिसकंटेंटमेंट है आज की मैच के लिए. Like I said, Punjab on paper they are looking very formidable. If they can get that impact player right, I would go with PBKS.
What about you, Cyrus?
Well, I'm a die-hard KKR fan. I've been following KKR for a while now, and although the team strength hai, they didn't really push the limit in terms of spending on players this season, which was a bit of a disappointment for me. I mean, they worked hard on retaining some of the players like Russell and Narayan, but there was not a lot of spend. वो impact players जो उनके team में एक time पे होते थे, वो अब नहीं है. But still, my heart is with KKR, and I would like them to win. But like Rajshri said, I mean, कह सकते हैं एक competitive match होगा ये. Analytically on paper अगर आप देखें तो फिर yes, the odds are in favor of Punjab. But yeah, I'm putting my money.
He was able to say it. कितनी मुश्किल हुई बोलने में.
Yeah. क्योंकि अब I'm not confident enough ना. पहले एक होता था कि मेरी टीम में impact players हैं. I can really, in fact, Shubman Gill at a time instilled such confidence in the opening batting lineup that हाँ ठीक है मैं अपना पैसे इसमें डाल सकता हूँ. But एक टीम जिसकी अपनी opening batting lineup sure नहीं है कि कौन सी होगी, थोड़ा difficult होता है आपके लिए वो करना. But again, my heart is with Kolkata, so I'll be putting my money on Kolkata as well.
Okay. So we've talked a lot about this first match. We're going to take a slight pause and then move on to another one, which is the second match that's going to be happening. So, guys, if you want to know about the second match के कौन से teams रहेंगी जो कि dream team रहेंगी हमारे दोनों experts की, आप थोड़ा सा wait कीजिए. I'll just take a pause. Okay, so the second match we are going to start this time with Cyrus. Cyrus, जो आज IPL का दूसरा मैच होने वाला है उसके लिए हम सब ने अपनी पोथे खोल करके टीम्स बना ली हैं. आपकी टीम से स्टार्ट करते हैं. मैं स्क्रीन पर डाल रही हूँ. आप बताइए हमें आपके फेवरेट्स कौन हैं.
Okay, without a doubt, Warner and Prithvi Shaw, I would want in my team. Very ballistic kind of opening batsmen. Warner and Shaw, I mean, we haven't seen them bat इतने लंबे टाइम से, but जो उनके ऊपर experience ride करता है IPL में play करने का, that in itself is the reason that I would put these two players in my team. Marcus Stoinis, great all-round option. Krunal Pandya, obviously, switching sides, going away from Bombay, but again, he has been able to establish himself as a good all-rounder in an option. तो इसलिए मैंने उनको एक bowling all-rounder के option पे तौर पर उन्हें रखा है. अक्षर पटेल, test match में, I think he really didn't get up. I mean, he got the opportunity, but उनको वो जो wickets के option थे वो नहीं मिले. तो maybe उस point को prove करने के लिए, no, yeah, still have it in me. I mean, format थोड़ा different है, Test और T20, but he still has a lot to say in this format. अक्षर पटेल, obviously, batting में तो उनके आपने जलवे देख ही लिए थे Test match में. तो I think वो जो batting का prowess है, वो इस team में obviously Delhi के लिए he can bring. So I put अक्षर पटेल on that list. Khalil Ahmed, Jaydev Unadkat is a bowling option. I mean, they've been really going. I mean, वो एक option है जिसके पीछे काफी उन्होंने एक support लगा रखा है कि he would perform for us, and there's a lot of money riding on Jaydev Unadkat as well in terms of a bowling option. तो मैंने उनको इस match के लिए at least I want to see कि how he performs अपनी टीम में रखा है. बाकी old veteran ईशांत शर्मा, again it was an impulsive selection from my side. मुझे पता है he's at that stage of his career जब उनको लोग बोल रहे होंगे बस भाई बहुत हो गया, hang your boots, is done. But I still, there's some little steam left in him to bowl because of the experience that he brings to the team. मैंने उनको I mean अपनी टीम में रखा है. But I'm looking forward to Ishant Sharma bowling on this track and performing. My option again, it's something that I would prefer. Nicholas Pooran is someone I was really doubtful about. That's why I kept it in the sub option as well, because impactful player, he could come in, go hammer and tongs at the bowling. But again, this impact sub wala jo option hai, very doubtful for me. That's why I kept it in this option. Deepak Hooda, Kuldeep Yadav, Kamlesh Nagarkoti. मैं इंटरनेशनल प्लेयर्स को ऑब्वियसली अपनी स्ट्रॉन्ग टीम में रखना चाहता था, एंड ऑब्वियसली जो होम डोमेस्टिक प्लेयर्स हैं, आई वुड लाइक टू कीप देम मोर इन द सब ऑप्शन. दैट्स व्हाई आई केप्ट मोस्ट ऑफ देम. मार्क वुड इज अनदर सोल इंटरनेशनल ऑप्शन जो उनको मैंने अपने सब ऑप्शंस में रखा हुआ है. अदरवाइज इफ यू सी माय लिस्ट, मोस्ट ऑफ द 3 ऑफ द ऑप्शंस आर इंडियन प्लेयर्स. तो मैं थोड़ा बैलेंस रखना चाहता हूँ. मैं इंटरनेशनल प्लेयर्स को हमेशा अपने स्ट्रॉन्ग लेवल में खिलाने की कोशिश करता हूँ. But I think this is a decent lineup to put on paper for me, at least, because basically first encounter between these two teams, and I would like to see how they perform on pitch rather than बाद में अगर ये perform करें team में, so I can have better decisions. But like first impulsive मेरा जो list होगा would be this.
Okay, time for your list now, Rajshri.
Anjali, but before I get to my list quickly, if you allow me, Rahul Yadav has a good question there, right? This is on
Yes.
Nitish Rana. He says, how do you see Nitish Rana as captain for today's game, keeping in mind that he hasn't done any wonders for Delhi's domestic team in recent times? It's an important question. It's a potent question to ask because there's a change in captaincy for both Punjab as well as KKR. Nitish Rana, a lot of people were surprised with his appointment as captain. Obviously, Shreyas Iyer out injured. But look, you have to understand different pressure situations, different management, different set of players. So I think Nitish Rana, he will take a lot of confidence from what he's done with KKR, right? He's only 29, 30. I think he's just 29. He hasn't even touched 30 there. So he's a young guy with a semblance of experience in the domestic circuit, in first-class cricket. He's a decent record, 6 or 7 hundreds there. So KKR, I somehow think, I have a gut feeling that you will see a lot more of this guy coming out. That personality is easier to express in the IPL when you know the cameras are on you, the pressure of expectation is on you, and that brings out the best in a lot of people. That's why Virat Kohli thrived as a captain, that kind of character. Delhi ka ladka hai, kuch kar dikhayega. Yeah, I mean,
दिल्ली को लड़कों में बिल्कुल शक नहीं है राष्ट्रीय को. तो करके दिखाएगा
है ना. है वो हार्ट से बंगाली, लेकिन मुझे शक होता है ये है दिल्ली के लड़के ही.
एकदम यार. My roots go back to Delhi for generations, so I'm a Delhi boy out and out.
So tell me now, your list. Shall I put it on?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've gone with KL Rahul and Prithvi Shaw as my opening combinations. Mitchell Marsh, Marcus Stoinis, Robin Paul, Krunal Pandya, Kuldeep Yadav, Jaydev Unadkar, and Chetan Sakaria. So as you can see, 3 foreigners there, and in my opinion, all 3 of them very, very impactful. Especially Mitchell Marsh in very good form. KL Rahul, again, he's a consistent run scorer in the IPL. You can bank on him to get runs, but can he translate that runs along with his strike rate? Because that has been a major concern for me. I've used that several times before. Strike rate has to be key. It cannot be an overrated word. Prithvi Shaw making a comeback into the limelight. He was recently, embroiled in some controversy. Whether or not it was his fault, we don't know. But it wasn't good viewing. But yes, you want to see Prithvi Shaw do well because he's that kind of a cricketer. He's such a talented cricketer. So you want to see him do well, and you want him to make a case for himself in the international circuit as well. Krunal Pandya, again, forever a very, very impactful all-rounder in the T20 format. I would love to see how he carries on. Kuldeep Yadav, again, has made a comeback into the Indian team recently across formats, doing very well. Won the Man of the Match award in a test match in Bangladesh, if I remember correctly. Has done well in the ODIs at home. He's such a great guy to have in the team. Obviously left-arm Chinaman, and he's also now a very, very effective batsman lower down the order. Jaydev Unadkar, again, he's been in the news recently, made a comeback into the test side. He looks in good form. He was in good form throughout the Ranji Trophy. And Chetan Sakaria, because you need to see, again, for me, look at the way I'm going with my team. I want to see left-arm pacers do well because you want them to, make some sort of impact for an India selection. So there are those guys right up there. And as far as my sub options are concerned, I mean, today at least I've moved to 3 foreigners instead of 2 from last night. So the sub options are, again, I've gone with Nicholas Puran. Ayush Badoni, he had a terrific first season last year. Didn't get too many big runs, but he made some useful contributions. Again, Ravi Bishnoi, I'm a fan of wrist arm bowling, wrist bowling. whether it's left arm wrist bowling or right arm wrist bowling. I quite like that lot. And Safraz Khan and Khalil Ahmed. Safraz Khan, again, dynamic batsman. Unlucky, I think, to miss out on some opportunities in Test cricket, but he's almost knocking on the door of that selection committee. And Khalil Ahmed, again, I'd like to see how he progresses. So you basically looking at alternatives for a bowling replacement or a batting replacement there.
Right. Also, I can see some Bengali fans are also joining us now. I'm seeing comments in Bengali coming in.
That's Rajshree's effect. That's Rajshree's effect.
I'm a Bengali look. I can't
You are the only one who can decipher that.
I think what they're saying. I think what they're saying is the best cricket show on today in the IPL.
Huh?
I think
Okay, that's very convenient interpretation. जो भी आपने लिखा है हमने ये समझ लिया है. I like that.
Anjali, you need to tell your team to get some AI translators on this show. We will need it because there's so much diversity, so many states, so many languages. ये रियल टाइम कमेंट्स आते रहेंगे. वी कांट हैव एवरी टाइम मतलब बंगाली में आए तो ठीक है, बट बाकी दफा आए तो क्या करेंगे? हम तो वैसे दिल्ली से हैं.
में भी ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने पढ़ के आपको बताया है. बाय द वे, इस गलतफहमी में मत रहिएगा. सारे साहब उन्होंने अपनी मर्जी से कुछ भी बोल दिया.
अगर हमने इंपैक्ट रूल इंटरप्रेट कर सकते हैं, ये भी इंटरप्रेट कर सकते हैं ना.
हाँ, it's as difficult. But how will you interpret the matches? My usual question: who's the stronger party? Who's the crowd favorite? कौन जीतेगा? Rajshri?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Cyrus, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm putting my money on Delhi purely based on what's on paper. I kind of feel it's a more cohesive, more stronger unit. ज़्यादातर players जिनका experience रहा है IPL में देखते हुए. I would try putting my money on Delhi. Again, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि Lucknow Super Giants are any bunnies here, but yeah, in the opener, I kind of have a very strong feeling that Shaw and Warner might really kick things off for Delhi. And I mean, Lord on the order, they also have a very cohesive bowling unit. So yeah, मेरे लिए Delhi is a far more better option to put on.
Okay. What about you, Rajshri?
I'll actually go with LSG, Anjali, because of the way they played in the very first season, and I think they also like Gujarat Titans. They've also done well. They're looking stronger. I mean, look at a possible lineup, right? KL Rahul, you have Kyle Mayers from the West Indies, you have Deepak Hooda again. He'll be high on confidence after some significant showings for India. He hasn't done remarkably well, but he's been then and thereabouts. So, and with Marcus Stoinis in that lineup, I think he adds a lot of heft either which way, right? So, with good quality all-rounders, you are. It's a little easier to take that impact player rule. I think a good all-round in that side allows you to think a little clearer in terms of who your impact player could be.
Okay. It seems we are getting a comment also. Would you like to take that, Rajshri?
Onik Nokia Markwood, who will get the best of Ikana's pitch? I think he's talking about Mark Wood in terms of.
I think he's a she, Ashima Gusai.
I'm so sorry, Ashima. If you're talking of Mark Wood, again, look, Mark Wood is someone who hits the deck hard. He likes, there is in conditions, obviously, he wouldn't get that kind of movement, but he likes to hit the deck hard. He is pacey, he's quick. And what I like about both Onik Nokia and Mark Wood is that out and out fast. They're not those kind of bowlers who come to the T20 format and decide on too many variations to preserve on pace and their fitness. They are out and out fast bowlers, and I like seeing those guys. Obviously, Jasprit Bumrah and Jofra Archer perhaps a notch higher in terms of pace. Jofra Archer probably is, but I think Mark Wood is that kind of a bowler. His height, again, Nokia is fractionally taller. Mark Wood, though, I think hits the deck harder. And for hit the deck harder bowlers in Indian conditions, in subcontinental conditions, you always get a lot more. For fast bowlers who've complained, or for a lot of people who complain that pacers don't get a lot out of Indian pitches or subcontinental pitches, try hitting the deck hard. Again, I mean, I'm saying that without any experience of having hit the deck hard, but merely from the perspective of the game for 16 years.
One question, Rajshri, I wanted to ask.
Cyrus, I'm going to interrupt you here, because we do have one of our regulars I would call him regular because I've seen him in almost every show, scripted, unscripted, asking a question. Would you like to take it? Can you read the comment, or should I tell you what he's asking?
I'll try reading scripted.
I'll read it for you,
okay,
Cyrus.
I think I think Stoinis
Yeah.
as an opener with KL can give a 5 star to Lucknow, and I mean, I kind of agree. Okay, my perspective, if KL Rahul wasn't keeping wickets with the kind of form, with the kind of controversial exit that he had from the test squad, from the ODI, from the team, would you be playing? I mean, yes, he's a big name for the team. He's a big name in the opening batting lineup. But as far as if I wanted a player who can offer me a lot of caveats, a lot of options, would I keep a KL Rahul? I would not. I mean, I purely put a player based on performance, not the name. So Marcus Stoinis opening the batting, yeah, sure. I mean, if I wanted to push KL Rahul out of the team, I would do that because he hasn't been that impactful for me in this format. In the past, yes, he has been excellent. He has had supreme seasons, but right now I'm purely basing this on the form that he has had in the recent days. So I don't know. For me, KL Rahul doesn't really bring his A game right now. I could be wrong. This one performance could, because KL Rahul ने ये किया है पहले, और ये I don't know whether you people will agree. He has a string of bad innings and suddenly he comes up with 100 or a good score and suddenly he reinstates himself back into the team. तो ये एक आदत सी बन चुकी है.
But वो consistency की कमी है ना. फिर वो कंसिस्टेंसी की कमी है, वो भी फिर आपको एक फैक्टर लेना पड़ेगा. कोई आदमी हर मैच में आके 40 मार दे और कोई आदमी 5 मैच में आकर के 100 मारे, it's not the same. You need to be dependable and consistent.
So how can you ride just because of your name? मतलब आप consistently perform करो. अगर IPL में आप 20-30 रन भी अगर हर मैच में दे रहे हो, then fine. But आप आओ 1-7-12, then suddenly 70, then 1-7-12-70. That's the kind of form that I mean he's been going through. So
no,
I don't know.
In all fairness, Cyrus, yeah. I have heavily been critical of KL Rahul's strike rate in T20 cricket, in T20 internationals, and also his form in Test cricket. But in the IPL is a different beast. The only problematic area for KL Rahul is the strike rate in the IPL. It's not that he hasn't gotten runs; he has scored runs consistently. He did that last year as well. And I also think what scripted, unscripted is asking is about Stoinis opening with KL Rahul in the absence of Quinton de Kock. You know, KL Rahul, obviously LSG captain. You cannot. He is going to play. He's one of the best IPL performers in recent years. But Stoinis as an opening combination, not a bad idea actually, because that opens up middle order a little more. But I think in the absence of Quinton de Kock, who will join probably in the next 5 or 6 days, Marcus Stoinis will have to marshal the middle order, because you look at someone like Ayush Badoni. Obviously, Deepak Hooda has a lot of experience, but you need somebody to align with Deepak Hooda and make a case for Lucknow Super Giants to build up those big scores and chase down those big scores.
Seems like you're getting visitors now, and Cyrus has conveniently decided to drop off. He's coming back again and again, but his internet is not cooperating.
I don't know what happened. Some KL Rahul fan must have kicked me out of the studio. I'm sorry, Anjali, if I offended you.
The gods of cricket got angry and then you were pushed out of the conversation. But anyway, I think हम लोगों ने काफी लंबा चला भी लिया है. अब वक्त आ गया है कि सबको बाय बाय कह दें, और उम्मीद करते हैं that you will have some sort of a clarity now about who's going to be your favorite 11 to pick. आपने राजश्री और Cyrus ka to suni liya, and Rajshri is getting very antsy. Okay, Rajshri, you can go. Bye. Go pick. Open the door.
I'll see you. I don't know who's looking for me, but I'll catch you guys very soon. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.